Hey everyone, welcome to Scribble Time with Panda. I'm your host, Nolan Lee, and I'm a illustrator based in the Seattle area, and I spend an hour every day drawing and doodling pandas for you live, and I also take suggestions from the chat as well as comments. So today's theme is Naruto. So for those of you who watch anime, this is a series that I watched when I was in college, and it had a lot of inspired me a lot in terms of making stories and making characters and such. And so it was really, I found it to be a pretty entertaining series when I first started. So we'll be drawing those type of pandas. Let's switch over to our screen and we will get started. So if you guys have any suggestions in the chat, please post them below and we'll draw them for you live. So anyways, yeah, I came across Naruto when I was in college, and I didn't really watch a lot of anime when I was before that. A lot of times, I would just think that the Japanese animation back then wasn't that great because I always equated quality with good lip sync, but because of the production process with anime, it's done a little differently. So at first it was a little bit off-putting, but once you get used to it, or once you start watching more series, you kind of get an idea of what it's like, and you kind of forget about it. So let's do our favorite ramen slurping ninja. Or sorry, he doesn't have the little. He has the whiskers on him. That's right. I think one of the things I have to practice for myself with making art and doing designs is the challenge of trying to make something feel believable but also have some whimsy in it. And I think it's interesting with like some anime series like for example like Naruto, it's like you have these characters wearing some pretty interesting outfits that don't really feel like they suit their function, but it's not as it's not as like impractical as like bikini armor, for example, but they feel like they're clothes that you can almost wear in person in everyday life. Some more than others. I mean, some are. I think there's some characters who they like wear some of them wear like a lot of bandages, or some wear robes. So it's like a mixture of like old traditional wear and more contemporary wear. So but I always thought like having certain things like the whiskers on a human face is, I mean, they're marks, right? But I think they really add a lot of character to them, and you know, it's just another thing that's distinctive about them. But it doesn't make sense, right? But I think it's something that I would like to incorporate more in my work, where it's like some things just feel like things like I tend to have a practical mind, so like I always want to make things feel like, oh, I'm always asking like, oh, does this really make sense? But sometimes you also have to add that play in there where it's like, well, maybe it doesn't make sense. Maybe it's just there because it looks cool. And I think there's a balance between that and making something feel pretty practical. I'm not too big of a fan sometimes when, you know, I sometimes come across these movie reviews where people are just hyper picky about it, and I think it's just I think you just have to know your audience. People who are gonna really like this stuff are, you know, they're gonna differ from other people who like certain things. You know, maybe people who like Naruto, they don't like, I don't know, Game of Thrones stuff. I'm just throwing generalities out there, but the point is that it's about, I think the cool thing about just designing something that's just kind of wacky and a little bit out there, and developing audience for it, is like, you know, I see that there's you know, you always want to cultivate your audience, and I think there's always this desire to want to like make your thing as big and as possible, like, you know, like Star Wars or something like that. So, but I think what the danger in that is that it makes the more people that you have to reach out, the broader the appeal it has to be. And I think it's kind of a legacy property at this point. So you don't really, you know, there's anybody and their cousin has heard of it. Like you can't not help but hear it. And I think though that for smaller properties or less known stories, you know, if you try to make it about like trying to gain the widest audience possible, I think there's certain things that you can do up to a certain extent that make your character feel like a lot of people can embrace it. But I don't know. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is be quirky. I guess or at least make your thing interesting. Don't always feel like you have to make a home run, because that's very difficult to do. I think everybody's trying to do that all the time. So if any of you are watching who are just, you know, who are into art, who really like drawing, and you're trying to figure out how to, you know, get a bigger Instagram following, or how to get an audience, you first have to create stuff first, and you know, you just have to get in the habit of creating all the time. It can be a difficult thing to do, but you know, there's no way around it. You got to have art out there, and you got to keep presenting it to the world. Now, the question of whether or not social media is the thing to do, I have mixed opinions about it. I got some notoriety through social media. That's how I grew my following at first. But I think times are changing, and I think they're changing in a way similar to like how someone can get, you know, like there are certain comic artists who got really popular during, you know, because they had their comics in the newspaper, but no one reads the newspaper anymore. But that's the way they did it back then. So it's always going to be some different type of medium and format. So it's just learning to be aware of what opportunities are out there for you. And it's the challenge with that is sometimes it feels like you're trying to game the system, and you're trying to, you know, figure out the quote unquote algorithm. And I think there is a lot of that going on where, you know, these companies are trying to figure out how to make money. So you're kind of at the whim of of their rules in terms of like how popular your thing's going to be. Because if you draw like other things like I'm drawing now, where it's like it's considered fan art, obviously this stuff is going to be more recognizable. People are going to be more engaged with it. There's a reference point that they can stick to, so they, so you would definitely get more attention that way. But if you want to do your own thing, if you want to show off your own work, that's going to take a little bit more effort. It's going to take more effort because no one really knows about you. People don't really know about me. And so I have to work to make sure that I have to be on people's minds, or I have to show them that I'm still working, or that I'm sure that I'm still producing. And it's tough sometimes when things get busy. You either have work, or you have homework, or school, or life in general. Maybe you're a mom or a parent that just has a lot of things on your plate at the moment, and so it can be challenging, because like maybe at the end of the day you're just plumb tired. Like I was that way like last night. I was just like fading. But you keep going. If you don't have a good day, say with drawing, you move on to the next day. All right, so next I'm gonna go with let's see, I'm gonna go with Sakura. Maybe. Obviously Sasuke is gonna be another one. I think one of the cool things about this show was that it showed an inventive number of abilities and powers. So it's like they're superheroes, but done in under the structure of chakra. Yeah, chakra. Like everybody has their, it's all about being able to harness this chakra energy and how to manipulate in a way to do your thing. So like, some would get super strength, some would get can bend and control puppets. Others can like actually physically display it in or manifest. It's just pretty funny overall, and there's a lot of great stuff coming from that. Let's see. I'm gonna kind of stick to the early stages of Naruto, because that. But I'll diverge. Maybe if I draw faster, I can get more of these guys in here. I think the challenge with I haven't watched it all the way to the end, so I'm. To be honest, I think I'm not as up to date with everything, even though the show's been over for a while. I'm up to the I'm up to one major spoiler, or one significant storyline, and and I kind of already know what happens, but it's just that I think one of the things that I found when I was watching the anime was like, I started realizing there were starting to be filler episodes and episodes where they had to like catch up with the anime had to give some. The anime had to wait for the manga to finish the storyline, but then it's like it would take forever, so they like threw in these like filler episodes where nothing is of any consequence. You know, like you don't really nothing. You could delete these fillers and nothing would happen with these, like nothing of consequence would happen, and it felt like such a waste of time. So, and I understand, because it's like you're trying to keep the ship going. I think, yeah, maybe I'll just do this one first, because I like her second outfit. It was pretty cool. And I also think it was cool, like in the early stages, like when they're doing their exams, you're early on they establish that some characters aren't that powerful, so you're always wondering like how are they going to make it through, because like they're not that great right now. But then what ended up making it more exciting was, oh, they actually do have the ability to do it. Like there's some thing that you see them training or learning, and then eventually that allows them to be able to help them achieve their goal. I know like Sakura always was told that she had a big forehead, but my pandas don't really have big foreheads in general, so I can't really. And then there's also like, I think they were doing this for a while where they had Sakura kind of had like an alter ego, but I think they stopped it. I don't know why, but all right. Yes, I'm just going to illustrate this here for. Okay, so that's like her sweetheart side, and then this is the you shall die side. I wish they brought this out more, but I think they kind of stopped that after a while for some reason. I don't know the actual reason, but it would have been Kind of cool. Do you know why? All right, now I gotta do Sasuke, but well, we're also gonna do Gaara as well. So let me do Gaara first, and then we'll go to Sasuke. Or I'll do Sasuke first, so at least get the triumphant. I don't know how I do the what do they call that thing? Haringan. His special eye power. I think he had like the Chidori. Is the man? I can't believe I remember some of this stuff. That looks really weird. I don't know if I like that. Maybe it's like... maybe I do. Maybe if I do a reverse one, that looks spooky. Okay. Yeah, how about that? I think that's a little bit better. Sometimes you just gotta try stuff out, and if it doesn't work, well, back to the drawing board. Oh, Sharingan, not Haringan. I knew that sounded funny. I got close. I just missed one letter. Oh, I think I need to fix this a little bit. Oh yeah, then he had like this collar thing, I forgot. Yeah, it's lightning. One thing I didn't get about some of these, one thing I didn't get about some of these attacks, like they were really cool, like the Chidori or like the Rasengan, where it's like you have something that's in your hand that's super powerful, but you have to like do the work of trying to hit the person. You have to get really close to your target in order to like, you know, make it effective, because like you can't just shoot it out. So I always thought that it would kind of help if it was like a projectile, because then you can like actually do something with it instead of always like having to bust it out or charge it and then just like run around trying to catch the guy. Alright, then we're going to do Gara. Gara the Sand. Okiba and Akamaru. I can do those guys. Always the stoic one. The brooding one. Whoever was the guy who designed the shoes for everybody, or who makes the shoes for all these ninjas, is probably doing pretty good. I think the thing that was interesting about this show was that it's like there's some pretty high stakes with these competitions, because you know, like when they're doing these tournaments, it's like, oh, they can actually die. Like it wasn't like, oh, you know, haha, you just like you like they played to the death, which is pretty. I don't know, that was kind of like an interesting thing to see. I know I'm not writing this the regular way, but I'm just getting it in there. And there you go. For some reason my cursor wasn't really working. It's almost like he's wearing a one-piece suit, I think. His little badge is like that. I thought it was kind of cool how like everybody wore theirs a little bit differently. So like some people will wear it off to the side, some people wear it in the helmet, some people wear it around the waist. So it definitely felt a little bit more realistic in the sense like this is, you know, you have a bunch of different people and they're all going to wear things slightly different. Maybe I should just put this here. Boy, there's a lot of stuff that Gara wears. Okay, so there we go with Gara. And then we're going to try to do Akiba and Akamaru, I think. Kiba and Akamaru. Yeah, maybe I have to do a Kakashi-san as well. Okay, so then we're just gonna give him like a... I have to remember something about this. I think he was like also reading books, but like not kid-friendly books, if I'm guessing right. Oh, silly. I think it was like romance novels. I think is what he likes to read. Ah, come on, draw. Gotta draw. Gotta draw better. Okay, Kiba, Nakamaru. Let's do Kakashi-san. Kakashi Sensei. I think Kakashi was probably one of my favorite characters on that show. I think one of the things I didn't appreciate also about the some of the fillers was that it also made like these really all powerful characters like feel very weak. I think there was a couple where it's like it had Kakashi in it, and I'm just like, what? Kakashi would never let himself get put in that situation. But when you gotta keep it going, you gotta keep it going. Okay, let's do Kakashi. Boy, just flying through here. I got time for a couple more. Yeah, I think what I liked about some of these characters is like some of them feel like you kind of know that there's. I think like with Shikamaru, like he was supposed to be like, you kind of see him as kind of being lazy, but then like when you see him in battle, like he's like, you realize he's like a next level strategist. You just see like, oh, he's actually like thinking 20 steps ahead. Or the one that I like a lot was, of course, Lee. Oh, I gotta do Lee. Maybe I could just go a little bit further and do Lee as well. I can't skip on Lee. I think I might have drawn him before as a panda, but I can't remember. But the moment when you realize how strong this kid is like, uh-oh. That was a great reveal. I mean, if you're listening to this and you don't know you feel like I'm going to spoil something, you're not going to remember what I said. Although with Shikamaru, I always thought he was kind of weird. He wore a fishnet all the time. I don't have many girls in this stream. I think I need to add some. Let me do Lee, and then I'll add a couple more gals. Maybe I can add. I feel like it's a bunch of dudes right now. Because there's some great ones there. I think I might have drawn him before as. me just delete that actually. I'm having a lot of fun on this stream, by the way. This is I always wanted to draw these characters as pandas, and it's kind of like a nice little venture into it. Let me just make this. All right, so that's Lee. Let me just lower him down just a little bit. He feels a little bit too tall. Okay. Ooh, 304. Let's see if we can add one more. A couple more. Let's see, we did Sakura, and I think we... what's a shy one? There's a shy girl in there. What was her name? There's one that's like has a scroll, I think. 1010, I think. Oh, Hinata, that's right. Okay, we'll do Hinata. It's like, it started with the H, I remember, but... Let's see, how many did I do today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe I'll just go through, I'll just go a little bit longer and I'll round it out as 10. Then we'll call it good for today. But thanks for watching, guys. It's kind of been fun. Actually, I need it. Oh, that's right. 1010 is the weapons. Yeah. Let's try to remember what the powers was. I kind of forgot what Hinata's was. I think hers was... You have to remind me what... You have to remind me what hers was. I forgot. It wasn't that she could turn invisible. It was something. What was it? Help me out, Hector. You know, you'll be my my reference guy. Oh yeah, that's right. She also wore her. Oh, the right, because her brother also had the whatever you call it, the Bayuka gun. See, I feel like the term nerd gets thrown around a lot, but like I feel like if you know those terms, then you're officially a nerd. Whereas it's like, oh, I read Spider-Man or whatever. I'm like, nah, that doesn't make you a nerd. Okay, there's Hinata. And we'll do one more for good measure. One that's Bayakukan. Let's see. Oh boy. I'm blanking out here. I'm gonna go do one more. Puppet guy. Well, I was thinking Tsunade, but I guess maybe we can either Tsunade or like actually let me do Orochimaru. Because we mostly have good guys on here, but we gotta have the main bad dude in here. So he'll be our last one for today, and then we could always revisit Naruto in the future. I'm not cheating because of the hands. It is cheating, I know, but it's part of the it's part of the personality. Okay, and then there's like these rope things that come around the back. Alright, so there we go. That's another one in the bag. So you guys can go and download these at punchingpandas.com/scribbletime. I will have those up probably in the evening because I have other things to work on at the moment. So, but it's a pleasure. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Please feel free to like this video if you like what you saw and you enjoyed just hanging out. I am really behind on trying to get all these into a time lapse because I keep forgetting to hit the record button. But either way, I enjoy doing these, and these are what I do for fun. As I do it for free. So if you guys care to, feel free to like this video, share it with your friends, tell any of the other artist friends who may be interested in it, or maybe if you're not an artist, maybe you enjoy seeing your characters transformed into other pandas. Sorry, just can't stop touching this thing. But anyways, I hope you guys like what you see. If you guys feel free to visit punchingpandas.com to see more panda content. Also visit the store. There's also, you can get things like prints, stickers, and books as well based on my characters here. And with that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do a live drawing session. So I will be doing sketches with real materials and real traditional art supplies. So feel free to tune into that tomorrow at the same time, 2 p.m. Pacific time here on YouTube. So we'll see you guys and have a great rest of the day.